What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. So we're going to talk about taking multiple nootropic stacks a day, how you can actually do that. The first stack, what it should look like, as well as the second stack, and kind of breaking down the principles so that you can do this successfully. Because look, you may need to work from 6 to 12, 6 to 11 p.m. call it, and you need your brain functioning, and you can take a stack, you just got to do it carefully. I'm going to show you how. In the meantime, Cortex Nootropic Stack. Motivation, verbal fluency, mental energy in a capsule. It's really being regarded as like the best clean stimulant there is on the market. It's very, very powerful. Get it at livecortex.com. If you buy it on subscription now, you get Smarter, Better, Faster for free. If you're new to nootropics, Nootropics Ground Zero is where you have to start. So if you're brand new, coming to this channel, you have to get Nootropics Ground Zero. It is the starter video course for everyone. It will save you 3 years and take you to the 3-year mark. Now look, if you want to ascend to the 6-year mark in using nootropics, different distinctions, better results. Get the Nootropics Masterclass. The highest level up on courses is the Nootropics God course. If you want to go to the 10 to 15-year level on using nootropics, high level principles, expert level nootropic stacks, get the Nootropics God course. Lastly, we've got consults. If you'd like to work with me and you don't want to go through all the courses, you just want me to formulate your regimen, your energy regimen, your sleep regimen, your testosterone regimen, and your nootropic regimen, which will vary between different stacks. There's 2 consult options, either a 3.5-month option, which we can get a lot done in, or a 6-month option, which we can get more done in. Get those at livecortex.com. Lastly, for those of you that don't want to book a bigger consult and just want to get my take on what your situation is, a custom daily regimen formulated for you, as well as 5 nootropic stacks formulated for you. Now, there's no ongoing support with this. You're not working directly with me continuously. It's a one-off call, but it's very useful. Just get the one call. So that's a new option that I just put on the website and just created for you guys that don't want to go on with like the longer consults and don't need ongoing support. Do that at livecortex.com. All right, so let's talk about taking multiple stacks a day. So first of all, there's a case for it, right? You wake up in the morning, you have your breakfast, coffee, stack, and then you go to town and start working. And you work until about 1 or 2 p.m., at which point most stacks, unless you're taking modafinil, are going to be losing their potency and efficacy. So you start to dip in energy, the stack sort of wears off at 2 p.m. Maybe you're going to take a break, maybe you'll muscle through that next couple hours until 5, fine. And then hopefully then you take a break. From 6 to 11 p.m. or midnight, maybe you have to work. Not every day. I get consulting clients that have to do this sometimes, at which point we've got to have a way for them to have extended energy and endurance and then processing and cognitive benefits from a stack for that time period. So I'm going to give you one example from one of those experiments that was run recently that ended up being really successful. Saeed, if you're watching, you are the man, and this is from your regimen. Okay, so the first stack, this is a business male, that had a good bit of work to do in the kind of morning time frame, and then had a slice of work that they had to do later in the evening, where they also needed to be around a client. So that was a necessity for verbal fluency as well as like some processing work in that evening time frame. The morning stack was the following: 400 milligrams oxiracetam, 400 milligrams aniracetam, 50 milligrams phenylpiracetam, 50 milligrams bromantane, 100 milligrams L-theanine, 40 milligrams centrophenoxine, okay? And then I gave the guy the advice, this is very particular to this person, to eat food with choline around the time that they are taking that stack. So that was the first stack, and that stack ended up working really, really well for the person, right? A good solid chunk of productivity in the morning time frame where they were beginning their work and executing their work for the ensuing few hours. Then there was a break in between, and then it was time to execute on the nighttime work. So this was the secondary stack that the person took, and then we're going to break down really why the stack is situated the way that it is. Secondary stack: 300 milligrams oxiracetam, 500 milligrams aniracetam, 50 milligrams citicoline, 20 milligrams bromantane. Okay, that was the second stack. So if you look at those two stacks, I'll put both of the stacks on the screen, first stack and second stack. What are some of the similarities? What is really going on here? So bromontane is in both stacks, aniracetam is in both stacks, and oxiracetam is in both stacks. The point of this is amplifying the effects of the previous stack, but without going over on doses, because this is the major mistake that people make, dosing the second stack if it's somewhat the same chemicals in the same doses. You don't want to do that. You'll overstimulate yourself. There's next to no way it'll hit the same way, and you'll be disappointed at it. The stack will be inconsistent, and you'll probably disrupt your sleep doing that. Like taking a stack later in the day that is comparable to a stack you take in the morning when you've got some work to do in the morning. We took the oxiracetam dose down 100 milligrams. To compensate for that, I took the aniracetam dose up 100 milligrams. So it's kind of the same, around the same dose, but still lower dosed, but just enough to enliven the effects of the previous racetam effect and to kind of get that person's brain right back on the pathway of functioning like they were when they were responding to the stack earlier. 50 milligrams of CDP choline. Again, a good option later on in the day, should not disrupt sleep. It's at a low dose, and they've been burning choline the whole day. They had some choline in their diet, but adding a little more in the later day stack is going to make a huge difference. For some people, just citicholine later on in the day suffices for what we're trying to do here. And then a modest dose of bromontane at 20 milligrams. Just enough, to give you that sort of stimulant energy, synthesize a little more dopamine, be in a good place cognitively and in terms of motivation and energy and drive to focus on that latter part of the day. And the interesting thing that I found is that 20 milligrams is kind of the cutoff for people for sleep disruption. Like if we had dosed that second stack at like 30 plus milligrams, there's a potential for sleep disruption, and we don't want that, right? We want the person to wake up the next day functioning awesomely, feeling fine, take a different stack, and be able to go on throughout their day. Okay, so that's just one example. And by the way, this is a very successful regimen for this person. Excellent performance in the morning time, good break in between, fully functional and excellent performance in the latter time, without overstimulating on the second stack, without trying to mimic the first stack on the second stack with equivalent doses, which is a bad idea and will never ultimately work well. But lower dosing most of the compounds, just giving an enlivening of the elements of the previous stack, because even though they've largely cleared, your brain is primed to be functioning well after you've taken a stack. Right, you have a lull in between, and then you throw in a balanced, not like over substantially stimulating, overdone, overdosed stack later on in the day. Ideally around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. you should take it if you're going to be working from, let's call it 6 to midnight. You should be taking it, half hour, an hour before you start working. So again, you're not taking the chance of disrupting sleep, and then you go to town. Now, will you have in this secondary stack the same brain function as you had in the first stack? Well, no, it's later on in the day. You're more tired. Your cortisol and blood sugar dynamics are completely different. You've executed a lot of output and exhausted a good bit of your brain function. It's just a mere renewal, right? It's just getting you in a place where that nighttime work is more than marginally easier. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been wonderful being with you. More content to come this week, live streams coming this week, and of course coming Sunday, a podcast launching this week. So make sure you're subscribed to the Apple iTunes podcast, our Nootropics podcast. And then product, look, Cortex stack, get on it. Powerful mental energy, powerful motivation, powerful verbal fluency in a stack, clean stimulant feeling. If you get it on subscription right now, you get Smarter, Better, Faster for free. 3 courses for the levels of nootropics that you want to get to. If you're brand new and want to get to the 3-year mark, Nootropics Ground Zero is where you have to be. Watch that course. It'll ascend you to 3 years in using nootropics. People do different things at 3 years than they do at 0.5 or 1 or even 2. If you want to ascend to the 6-year mark, Nootropics Masterclass is the course to get. Okay, and look, at that mark, you're great. You could stay there for 2-3 years if you want to, or just 6 months and get great results. But then if you want to move to the highest echelon of nootropics information, usage, stacking, strategy, and ultimately results, Nootropics God course is where you have to go. 10 to 15 year mark, highest level course out there. Consults, if you want to work with me, if you want to have me run your whole regimen, I'll run your daily stack, I'll run your nootropic stacks, I'll run all the experimentation, the adjustments, the formulations, everything will be perfected to your brain. If you got sleep issues, testosterone issues, baseline energy issues, we'll focus on that. We'll basically get you firing on all cylinders, and there's not a whole lot you have to do except for take the regimens and the stacks that I have put together for you in our working document. Either work with me for 3.5 months or for 6 months. Do that at livecortex.com. If you'd like to do one call with me where I'll formulate your daily regimen as well as 5 additional nootropic stacks, no ongoing support, but this is useful for those of you that don't want to get the bigger consults, do the one call product and get on the call with me and let's make it happen. livecortex.com. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Talk to you next time.